Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Talk Life with Teg. I am the Eagle Girl, and today we have a special guest with us. So please, our special guest, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm George Akaji, pharmacist, and it's good to be here.
All right, welcome from George. And today we'll be talking about leprosy. Joining the World Health Organization in the World Leprosy Day coming up on 31st January. We felt we could join in creating awareness about this tropical disease. I think it's actually one of the neglected tropical diseases. It's not being talked about so much. So we'll just put some highlights on what leprosy is, and we hope you learn from this episode. George, could you throw a little light? What exactly is leprosy? And
Leprosy is a bacterial infection caused by a bacteria known as Mycobacterium leprae, and typically it usually affects the nerves in the arms, the hands, the feet, also on the face. And one of the characteristics is that you notice individuals that are affected actually have patches on their skin, and also as the disease progresses, they usually notice loss of pain and loss of sensation, either to touch, to pain, or to anything. And over time, this leads to paralysis, curling of the nail of the fingers, and eventually the person is actually losing a lot of muscle function.
yeah, okay. And it doesn't seem to be very common these days, or is it that we're just ignorant of it? Like we don't hear about this much.
I think it's a case of both. You understand? Because over time, due to advances in medicine, there have been drugs that could actually treat people, and people actually make full recovery. And also, the awareness level is low. You understand? So
It's very low.
It's actually a case of both for this disease.
Okay. So from the signs you mentioned, the patches and the loss of sense at the hands and I think that's one of the major reasons for discriminations. You know, when you see people with somebody with discoloration on their skin or with curled fingers and toes, I mean, people who really want to associate with someone like that.
That's true.
And it's one of the major issues with leprosy today, people being stigmatized. I think most of the beggars we see on the streets as we travel in Nigeria, I think many of them, this could be their problem. Because they... Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying the stigmatization, actually, I feel if people are actually properly educated and know that they actually can't get these things easily from associating with these people, then I think it will reduce the amount of, to reduce the way people are, at least they'll be treated a little better than they are at the moment. So,
than they are.
Yeah, because if people know that
actually brings... Okay. That actually brings me to my next question. Is this curable? How contagious is it? I mean, if I have someone living in the same apartment that has this, how safe am I?
Well, it's actually a contagious disease, but it's not as contagious as people make it out to be. Understand? Usually, it takes a period of, I think, at least 6 months and above for the individual to actually begin to notice this disease. And the disease itself doesn't actually multiply easily. So it's very difficult for someone to pass it across to the next person. So it's unless maybe prolonged contact over a long period of time, then before you can actually get it. And even if somebody gets it, it's actually curable. There are treatments for the disease at the moment, so it's not like a death sentence, or it's not as bad as as people make
Exactly.
it out to be. So you can actually get treated if you become infected, but it's not. You can't easily get infected by caring for someone with it. You understand? Yeah. So people that
so being a bacterial infection, I mean, good antibiotic treatment works. So it depends on what the treatment regimen is from the physicians and all.
Yeah, because and also I think I saw some reports that once somebody is already on treatment, the chances of him transmitting, like passing the disease on to another person, is very low. So once this person, so one of the things to actually do is actually early diagnosis of the disease, and then prompt initiation of treatment. I think everybody will actually be safe that way.
Okay. So that's very insightful. Like I even mentioned earlier, it's a tropical disease, means it thrives in warm and wet regions. And from what I read, about 80% of the cases are like present cases are seen in India, Indonesia, Nigeria, Brazil, places like that. But even Nigeria has less than 10,000 cases per year. So it's really not as common as it used to be. Like before pharmacy school, I didn't know leprosy was still a thing. I thought it was Bible times disease. But apparently it's still here, and a lot of people are still suffering from it. But then that's actually why we need this awareness, so that people will know that this thing is here, and then we also know how to. If we know it's here, we'll know how to protect ourselves from it. So the next thing is how can we prevent getting this disease?
Okay, yeah. For prevention, I think basically what happens is that most for prevention, the earlier the person is actually diagnosed with the disease, better. That way, that person begins treatment immediately, and the chances of him passing it on is reduced. And also and also people close to the individual, maybe somebody living with a patient an already diagnosed leprosy patient. I think personal hygiene and avoid prolonged bodily contact or exchange of bodily fluids with an infected person actually goes a long way to prevent that. And then for kids, I think vaccines also help. I read somewhere it said BCG vaccine is also helpful for leprosy. So children should also take their vaccines as when due, to actually go a long way in helping.
Okay. I'm talking of vaccination. I mean, BCG is for tuberculosis, but since the bacteria for leprosy and tuberculosis are of the same genus, so I feel like BCG can give some level of immunity to leprosy as well. So getting our kids vaccinated is very essential. It's very important. So okay, I think basically, and when you talked about when you're living with someone that is infected, because this thing, the bacteria is transmitted via droplets from the nose and mouth. So protecting yourself as well, like from prolonged contact or that, is one way to keep yourself from getting infected. And then, like you mentioned as well, good personal and environmental hygiene, because it's bacteria, it won't thrive in a clean environment, right? So exactly. So we actually have a role to play, even though the disease is not as common as it used to be back then, but we have to keep working at it, and hopefully it will be eradicated. A lot of diseases have been eradicated over time because of our efforts. If we keep putting in efforts and doing what we need to do, hopefully one day leprosy will be a thing of the past. I mean, it's so low right now, it's even being neglected, and because it's just in some parts of the world and not in the rest, it's it's as if nobody's talking about it. But we have to talk about it because it's affecting people around us.
I think
All
once
right.
once people actually are aware, the more people are aware about it, know that they can easily be treated and know that okay, this thing is not easily transmitted. Just care for those that are already infected, and then when they get well, the number
Yeah.
reduces on and on like that until we get to the required stage.
Okay. So that's very, very, very informative, and I'm glad that you shed a lot of light on things that is important for us to know. So I don't think there's something else you would like to throw in there for us to know about leprosy
Sure.
or
There's
round up.
certain myths also that we'd have to actually address, like the issue of people maybe
Yeah.
saying, I can't marry from this family, their father or a sibling there was a leper and all that. I think the people once people should be
Yeah.
aware that the disease actually is not hereditary. So if
Yes,
somebody
it's
from the
not.
family actually has had it before, doesn't mean everybody will get it or your offspring will get it. So people should actually know that it's just an infection, just like many other infections, and with the
Yes.
appropriate therapy, the person can actually recover.
Oh, yeah, that's an important thing. And this is actually linked back to the stigma and discrimination that goes with this
Yeah.
disease. Because other diseases, even things like cancer, that having a family member with cancer actually predisposes you to having one, doesn't stop people from marrying from
Yeah.
families
People,
that they've had
yeah,
cancer before. But in this case, nobody wants to associate with somebody who is looking less than they were supposed to look because of an infectious disease. So we really have to deal with the stigma around this disease. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Farm George. And I hope this episode was insightful. And thank you all for listening in. See you again next week as we talk about another very important aspect of health. Have a lovely week ahead and stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Bye.